Hey guys, how's it going? Ryan Potter here with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services and Baxter Real Estate. Some people call me Realtor Potter, and so I wanted to address some issues here today and some things with you. And the topic today is rent versus buy. And so I have a lot of people that are always asking me, when is it okay to rent? When is it okay to buy? And so the first thing that I want to kind of get across to everyone is you're paying a mortgage. You're paying a mortgage either for your landlord or you're paying a mortgage for yourself. So the question is, do I want to invest in somebody else's property or do I want to invest in my own? Now, before I get into some of the breakdowns and scenarios here, I do want to say that there are times when rent is the best option. There are times when buying is the best option. And so I don't want to make it come off as I'm trying to tell you to go buy. Because sometimes that's not the best case scenario for you. So what we want to do and what I want to do is answer some of those questions and address some of those things that will hopefully make that decision a little bit easier for you. So the first thing to know with me is the way I answer questions, and when you guys send questions in and you're asking me certain scenarios and different things and different topics, I'm always going to answer those questions as if I were in your shoes. So I'm going to try to do my best to put myself in those types of scenarios or those types of situations and then tell you what I would do. Now, that doesn't mean that that's always the right answer, but that will hopefully help point you in the right direction. And with my knowledge and experience in real estate, hopefully you'll have that trust and that knowledge there where you might trust what I have to say, in my opinion, and you can agree with me sometimes and you can disagree. That's okay. What I'm hopefully just going to do here is just share with you guys just some answers and some things that you can do to better prepare yourself to eventually buy in the future. So I'm going to give you a couple scenarios. The first scenario is kind of that college student or that person that is newly married and they've been renting for a while, and now they're asking the question, do I go out and buy or do I stay in rent? And so we need to look at a couple things. So the answer actually is it depends. There is no right answer or wrong answer there, but I always say it depends. It depends on your financial situation. It depends on do you have gift money coming in from your parents or somewhere else? What's your job look like? What are you making at your job? So all those things are going to be things that you're going to want to look at. The question that I typically ask is, what are you comfortable spending each month on a mortgage or rent payment? So if that's $1,000, let's say, then you're probably not going to want to be looking at $200,000 homes, right? You might be approved for that, but maybe you're not comfortable spending more than $1,000 or $1,200 a month, and so we need to stay in a certain area there, and that's the area that we need to look to try to find you a house. I also want to address just if you're going down that road and you're thinking about, okay, I can spend $1,200. Keep in mind, when you go to buy a house, you've got all these other added expenses as well. So that $1,200 or that $1,000 can sometimes turn into $1,500 when you add in internet, your MUD payment, your OPPD payment, and those things. So that's kind of what I like to call the hidden costs sometimes, because there's times where people think they can afford to buy a house, but then when you start adding up those costs and homeowners insurance and all those other things, sometimes that takes people off guard. So be sure to get educated in that area. I can always help you with that. I can point you in the direction with lenders and some homeowners insurance people as well that can answer some of those questions for you to give you a better idea of where you would stand. But keep that in mind as you're going there. So that would be kind of the first scenario that I would kind of look at, and just start looking at, what does my job look like? How much money is going to be coming in? And then what am I comfortable spending? So that's kind of scenario one. I think you can kind of answer that question if you're a newlywed or you're fresh out of college and you're wondering, should I rent or should I buy? Sometimes it might be the best case scenario to start off renting. And I have no problem telling people that. Sometimes it's the best for my client, and that's my job. I want to do what's best in the interest of my client, not what's best for me or what I'm going to make money on or anything like that. But my job is to take care of you as my client. So there's times where I've lost people because I've actually told them, you might be better off renting for maybe a couple of years, and then we look at buying. And that's okay. So I just want to make that clear. Their second scenario is maybe you've been in the situation where you have been renting and you've saved up some money and you're sitting there going, okay, I've got some money saved up. Now what do I do? And so here's some of the questions that I would start asking. I would ask, how much money do you want to put down? How much money are my closing costs going to be? Do I want to do an FHA loan, a conventional loan? Am I capable of doing a conventional loan versus an FHA loan? And so those are the types of things that you want to figure out and find out before jumping into that let's go buy a house phase. So my suggestion there is I always tell people, get in touch with a lender. If you don't know a lender or you don't trust a lender, I have some people that I can point you to that would take care of you, that are reliable, experienced, and very good in their work. So message me if you're looking for a lender to want to start that process or whatever. But some of those things is basically you want to put yourself in a position where, again, you're comfortable with your finances. So you might have $20,000 saved up, and your lender or somebody else might tell you like, oh, put $20,000 down on that house. Well, I wouldn't necessarily do that, even though it's nice to do that and maybe take care of PMI in some cases, which is principal mortgage insurance for you that don't know. Yes, that can save you some money on your mortgage, but then it also might leave you strapped, where now you had $20,000 in your savings, that's gone, you put that down for a down payment, you buy a house, and your heater goes out. Now what? You go into debt because you put on the credit card, and sometimes you struggle to pay the credit card off and make your mortgage payment and all that stuff. So what I'm saying is you want to make the best decision there when moving forward and think about those things. So in my opinion, if I'm in your shoes, if I had $20,000, or $10,000 or whatever that is, I would take half and I would put half of that down if you're comfortable doing that. And then that leaves you money there left over for when you do move into the house, you're going to run into certain things. Maybe you want to buy a new couch. Maybe you want to buy some new light fixtures, those types of things. And maybe you just want to save it and keep that prepared there for if something does break, or now you have money to kind of replace that and you're not strapped and wondering where that money is going to come from and feel stressed because you're going into more debt. If you're like me, I like to be debt free as much as possible. Am I completely debt free right now? No. I still have some student loans to pay off and I have a car payment to pay off. But in the future, my goal is to be completely debt free, where all I have is my mortgage, and then eventually pay off my mortgage, and now I'm living debt free and I have all that income coming in. That's just me though. You might be completely different, and that's okay. Scenario 3 is the perfect scenario, and that's you've got all this money saved up because you've been renting and you're ready to make the next purchase and you're ready to start that process. One thing that I love to tell people and tell clients is how early, I get that question, how early do I start that process? Typically in my situation and with my clients, I start working with clients that are 3 to 18 months out from from purchasing a home and starting the process there. So what that means is what I want to do is I want to get in front of you. I want to help you take the steps to getting prepared to buying a home if that's the perfect and best scenario for you moving forward. If it's not, I have no problem telling you that, and I have no problem being upfront with you and honest and saying, hey, maybe we should wait a couple more months or a year or two and save up some more money, then we're ready to purchase a house. So again, what I want to do is what's in the best interest of my clients. And so in that scenario, if you have money saved up, you're ready to roll, you've been pre-approved, then I would say the next step is we meet, we talk about what you're specifically looking for. I'll get you set up on a search so you're notified. Sometimes even before some of those houses hit the market, we've got things called pocket listings here. For those of you that don't know, here's an interesting fact about Berkshire Hathaway Home Services in Omaha. We are actually the #1 office in the nation, and it's actually been 4 years in a row now. We just found out in Phoenix when we were down there at our conference, in volume and GCI. And so what that means is we did over 8,200 transactions in our office in Omaha, Nebraska in 2016. That's huge. That's more than any other office in the nation. So what that says is we do a pretty good job of talking with our agents here in the office of what's going on in the market, what we're listing, things like that. And sometimes we'll get a pocket listing. And what that's called is, let's say my coworker, Angie, comes up to me and says, hey, do you have a buyer that's looking for such and such at this price? And I say, yeah, actually I do. She will sometimes let us into the house early and potentially write up on that house before it even hits the market. That's called a pocket listing. And so a lot of times we're able to do that, and we're able to close a deal before it even hits the market. So there's just different things that, and secrets and things that I would love to share with you and get with you once we get to that stage. And especially in a low inventory market like Omaha, sometimes it's difficult to find that house. You're sometimes writing 5 or 6 times on a house before you finally get it, which is crazy. But I also have some other things and some other strategies and secrets there of what to do when we get in those situations and when we get in multi-offer situations and how we can win those. So if you are in the market or you know someone that's looking at buying, selling, or building your home, I would love the opportunity to represent you. I would love the opportunity just to meet you and to sit down and to talk about just the situation that you're in, and if you're ready, and if this is going to be a right fit. And if it is, great. I would love to be that person for you. If you're looking for a lender, or you're looking for maybe some homeowners insurance direction as far as that is concerned, I'd be more than happy to point you in that direction as well. But hopefully today has encouraged you a little bit, helped you answer some questions on rent versus buying. And I'm going to try to do this every Friday. So with that being said, if you guys have topics, questions, subjects that you want me to cover and answer, go ahead and send me a message, contact me, let me know, and I will begin to start making more and more of these videos to hopefully help you out, so you can go with me and get some things answered, and we can hook up and hopefully end up buying a house, selling a house, or building a house in the near future. So I look forward to it. Thank you guys for your time, and thank you for dialing in to realtorpotter.com. Bye.